Good evening, YouTube. Just Mr. Love here. Happy MLB The Show release day to all of you. Hopefully you have been enjoying the show so far. I'm about to be, as my new role as the general manager of the Colorado Rockies. You see the nice little design right there. So the Rockies, yeah, this is a team that's been really irrelevant going into their 30th season as a Major League Baseball team, coming in as an expansion team back in 1993, along with the now Miami Marlins. But the Rockies haven't done a whole lot since coming around. They've never won the division, ever, in their, in the NL West. And of course, if you can't win the division, you can't win a World Series. And they have never won a World Series. And, well, that's just inexcusable in a way, with a team that has a pretty good budget and has never been short of talent. Gold Glovers, Silver Sluggers, Manager of the Years, Rookie of the Year. You think of the Rockies, you think of great players. Larry Walker, Troy Tulowitzki, Nolan Arenado, German Marquez, Cargo and his sweet swing. You think of players like that. Well, they're not here anymore. Okay? After this team has just been a dumpster fire for a while, that is about to change. I am here to turn this team around, get them their first World Series in their franchise history. And we're going to do that in this cycle, with my team being the Colorado Rockies and MLB The Show 23. Video is pretty simple. It's just going to be a roster breakdown. Now, a quick note before we hop into the roster breakdown. At the time of me recording this, it is 11 o'clock at night, and I'm adjusting the roster. So things look a little funky. Things look a little weird. I'll have it adjusted by episode 2. This is episode 1. By episode 2, tomorrow night, be Wednesday night, opening day as we are on the road to see the Padres. So, without further ado, let's get into the Rockies breakdown, roster breakdown, if you will. And if you want, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, come join. This is a great time to join the channel. This is a new franchise. I do a lot with my franchise, and you could also go over on Twitter at JustMrLove. Come follow me there. Be nice to have you. All right, enough talk. Let's hop into it. Let's do a quick little snappy-do and get on over to the roster page. Okay, well, I'm going to edit out the snap because I'm just great like that. So the Colorado Rockies, last year when I did my A's breakdown, we thought that team was an absolute mess. Oh boy. Rockies fans, I applaud you for staying with this team. This team is, oh boy, they either don't have any talent or they're locked into huge contracts. And like I said, I'm not going to go over prospects. We're not going to look at the minors as of right now. I'm going to try to do a better job with the prospect preview in this year's version, I'm hoping. But let's just get into this. Let's look at our rotation. This team is so bugged with injuries, by the way. And I mean bugged. Let me get that out of the way first. Look at all these people that are hurt. Sean Bouchard, Lucas Gilbreth, Tyler Kinley, Antonio Senzatella, Ryan Rollison, and Brandon Rogers. Some of these guys can miss the whole season. And that's big for a team like this. These are pretty main players on this team. And that's really going to add a handicap to an already handicapped team, if you will. So let's get back into the roster here and let's take a look. Let's look at our starting pitching, or what's left of it. Of course, you've got our ace, German Marquez, who's been with the team for quite a while, pretty much his whole career. And he's still got 2 more years left on his deal, 28 years old. Not great. 74 overall is our best pitcher. And of course, we got Austin Gomber right behind him. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's been pretty mediocre. We've got Kyle Freeland, someone who should be better than what he is. But look at this contract, man. He is still locked in for 4 more years with the Colorado Rockies. And guess what? Because of my own franchise guidelines, which I will tag at the end of the video, I can't trade him. I cannot initiate a trade because he's been with the Rockies for 5 or more consecutive seasons. So we're stuck with Kyle Freeland, and hopefully, maybe he'll make me regret saying that. Of course, I've already mentioned Antonio Senzatella. He is hurt, though. Who knows how long he'll be hurt for? Possibly at least half the season. So, as of right now, and I have this simmed to opening day, it's got Ryan Feltner. I've never heard of this cat before in my life, not going to lie to you. Doesn't look impressive, 65 overall, deep potential. And of course, they got Jose Urania, which I think personally is probably one of the worst pitchers in Major League Baseball, no matter what team he's on. But that's just my opinion. If you like Urania, hey, go for it. We'll keep him, or we probably won't keep him, but we'll give him a chance, and we'll see what he can do. Maybe he could prove me wrong. I'm all about people proving me wrong. So that's quite a rotation, you know. Probably. Oh, by the way, have I mentioned that the Rockies come in ranked 29th in the power rankings going into the season this year? The only team that are ranked worse than the Rockies is the team I was the GM of last year in the last cycle, the Oakland Athletics. So, yeah, not much easier. The only difference I would think is we have a little bit more of a budget. But that doesn't mean we can win in a tough NL West. Relief pitching, even more of a mess. Pierce Johnson, he's been first year with Colorado, 1 year, $5 million. Don't know a lot about these guys. We're literally going to be learning together. Denelson Lamet, also former Padre, coming over to the Rockies. I'm going to rely on him in a long reliever role for now, and hopefully he can deliver. Justin Lawrence, 28 years old. He's got some good stuff. Sinker, slider, four-seamer. Got some good velocity. Allegedly doesn't give up home runs, but at Coors Field, that's going to be tricky. That's going to be real tricky. Brent Suter, former Brewer, also here in Colorado. Lefty. He can give up the long ball, but I love the pickoff artist. We got 3 pitchers in our bullpen that have the pickoff move, so we got to make sure we got to get used to that. And like I said at the opening of the video, I'm still adjusting the roster. I went through and did the injuries for the Rockies. I'm not going to do that for every team because that just takes way too long. I do not have patience for that. So, yeah, really, really messed up bullpen. This will probably change before we start opening day. And, of course, Daniel Bard, as our closer, he's still got 2 years left on his deal at 37 years old. I expect him to regress starting this year, but had a pretty good season last year. Only 57 games, 34 saves. 60 innings, only gave up 3 home runs. That's really good. And check out that ERA, 1.79. I'm going to need him to be that way this year. Also, we can probably trade him at the deadline. He's only been with here 4 years. We're going to see. But as of right now, we are riding and dying with him as our closer. So let's check out catcher. Brian Servan. Okay. Let me just get this out of the way right now. I'm going to butcher names. I know nothing about the Colorado Rockies. I am going to try to know this team inside and out as the year goes on. But right now, I know nothing about the Colorado Rockies. And that's part of the fun for me, going into a team I know nothing about. So yeah, here we go. Brian Servan is rated as our top catcher. Not by much, though. Him and Elias Diaz. 30s. Both, deep potential guys. We're definitely going to need some help in the catching department. Yeah. First base, probably my favorite player I cannot wait to use is CJ Cron, 33 years old. He's in the last year of his contract. Will probably be our primary first baseman. May see him hit DH on occasion. But I like CJ Cron. And we're going to see. It depends on how much he regresses going into this season on what his future will be with the Colorado Rockies. I like him. I know he can hit bombs, and we'd like to see that, don't we? Second base, of course, Brandon Rogers hurt. His timetable back is unknown. So as of right now, we've got Alan Trejo. Like I said, don't know anything about this cat. We'll start him off at second base. Not a bad little portion he had last year. Only 35 games, but he hit 271. Maybe too early to tell. Pretty good defense also at second base as well. Third base, Ryan McMahon will be our primary third baseman. Great on the defensive side of the ball. Can hit righties very well, and he's also very durable. Hopefully we won't have to worry about any injuries with Mr. McMahon. I guess you could say there's no chance in hell. All right. And of course, Nolan Jones playing backup. Probably won't keep him here. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way now. Cheap option, 24 years old. He does have room to grow. He's got a good arm. He could play in 4 positions, but I don't have a lot of use for Mr. Nolan Jones, but we will see. We will ride with this roster through at least the first month. Now, probably one of the biggest highlights on this team, shortstop, is Ezequiel Tovar. I hope I'm saying that right. A potential 62 overall, 21 years old. And you know what? We're going to start him in the majors. I know he's a 62 overall, but we're going to go ahead and start him in the majors. He's going to be our shortstop come day one. I want to see what he can do. I want to see what he can develop into. Probably not a whole lot. And if he doesn't develop, then we can always send him down. I'm all about it because we have some nice prospects behind him, including Adele Amador. Left field, Chris Bryant hasn't really done a lot with the Rockies because he's been hurt a lot. So we're going to need him to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Healthy, not injury prone. He's got a huge contract, albatross contract in my opinion. Now we do have about 3 more years to determine if we're going to keep Chris Bryant or not. As a Cubs fan in real life, it's nice to see Chris Bryant again and nice to control Chris Bryant again. But I'm going to need him to perform. And who knows, maybe because of the contract, we might not be able to get rid of him, especially at 31 years old. Not a great fielder, and I'm surprised they got his fielding that low, but I'm not going to complain about it. He may eventually just become our DH, because that fielding is just not very good. Maybe first base, but other than that, pretty much a DH. And of course, Jerickson Profar, I added him to the team earlier today because the Rockies didn't sign him. Contract is accurate, just like real life. 1 year, $7.5 million. Pretty good pickup, nice veteran. Not a lot to say here. Utility guy, could play anywhere, and he can get on base. So, I mean, not greatly, but he can get on base. So, we're going to see what Jerickson Profar can do for us. Center field, Randall Grichuk, former Toronto Blue Jay, will begin his 2nd year in the purple and black, the Colorado Rockies, of course. Not a lot to say about him either. 31 years old, $10.4 million. This is a tryout season for him, kind of similar to what McKinley was for the A's when we first started last year in that franchise. So he will primarily be playing center, sharing time with Jonathan Daza. Probably going to have him hitting leadoff. Daza's 29 years old. We're going to need to have someone that can make some contact at the top of the lineup, and he is the guy. Because here's a spoiler for everyone. I don't know if you've been paying attention or not. The Rockies don't really have any base stealers. So I think Daza is probably one of the fastest on the Major League roster right now, which is a problem. And I may address this going into opening day, as there are some nice free agents out there. I may limit myself to sign 1 pitcher, 1 position player for opening day. And of course, in right field, you've got Charlie Blackmon, a guy that's been consistent. That's just the best I can say. He's consistent. Of course, I cannot trade him. Last year of his contract at 36 years old, $18 million. Now, not too bad. Not too bad. He is going to be an everyday starter for us. He will be playing the field, even though I don't like those fielding ratings. But we're going to roll with the beard, Mr. Blackmon. And the nerve of him to keep Nolan Arenado in this picture. Wow. So, I'm just keeping it simple, guys. That is our Major League roster. This team is going to be a struggle. We did it with the Cubs. We did it with the Giants. We didn't do it with the Tigers. And I'll be honest with you guys, this roster reminds me a lot of the Tigers when I tried it a couple of years ago, and I was not successful. So, kind of a redeem year. But thankfully, we've got a new format. We've got ways that we're going to play the games more. We're going to look at player lock a little more. Definitely going to be doing more prospect preview episodes for upcoming prospects. And of course, the new drafting and scouting system, which I'm very excited for. I cannot wait to get so many duds. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the roster breakdown. It is a mess. This team is a mess. But that should be the good news, right? This should be the worst that the Rockies will be under my command. And I really hope I could turn this team around. I hope you guys are in for the ride. I look forward to entertaining you for this next year with the Colorado Rockies. I think Coors Field is a gorgeous ballpark. I think the purple and black are some nice colors. Got some merch coming out soon for that. So keep an eye out on that. And by the time the broadcast will be, episode 2 will be up tomorrow night over on YouTube, here on the channel on YouTube that you're watching right here. We'll have a merch store open. So feel free to browse there. And if you're interested, please buy from the merch store. Half of the proceeds from all the merch sales go to charity, while the other half is flooded into giveaways, for future giveaways. So the more that people buy from the merch store, the better the giveaways will be, and the higher the donations for charities will be. So if you want to feel good about that, get you some sweet looking merch. I'll be wearing one tomorrow night for episode 2. Please feel free to do so. If not, at least tell a friend about it. I don't know. Do what you want, man. But anyway, all right, I'm going to quit rambling. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. Like I said, if you're new, hit that pretty little red button and turn it gray for me. And we will see you tomorrow night for the Colorado Rockies. Opening day, whatever, in San Diego. Let's go, Co. See you guys tomorrow.